Yeah.
You took an oath as the Vice President of the Philippines.
Baguio residents there. Coding is back. Ako kasi insulto yun eh. Insulto yung taong bayan. Good day everyone! Spill the Tea is back dito sa Law Stories and I am Mon. We have here
Mia?
So for this week, ang gagawin natin is rundown tayo ng issues sa Baguio and of course, anything that's happening in the Philippines. Diba?
Ang lawak ha?
Yeah, malawak tayo.
Lawak na scope natin.
So the way we do it is of course, we talk about it. Siyempre, opinion namin based on facts and we'd love to hear your opinions. Simulan natin dito sa Baguio. So,
Balita ko, yung e-taxis.
yeah, so recently, according to news site natin, Mountain Beacon, we have here na si Mayor Benjamin Magalong, ni-reject niya ang application ng 100 e-taxis.
Yes.
Can you share us, ate,
So,
what happened?
yung isa sa basis niya doon kasi is, like there's 42% already of the existing vehicles in Baguio are already taxis. And then, another 8% of that are jeeps.
Ang
So,
laki ng difference.
Ang laki.
42 versus 8%.
8%. So, that translates to a lot of things like congestion, di ba? Traffic.
Yes.
Also, sino ba ang mas maraming na isasakay?
Correct.
Taxi
Correct.
or jeep? So, merong basis, may tamang justification naman si Mayor. Kasi, unless magbawas tayo ng existing na taxis, paano tayo magdadagdag?
Correct. And to clarify lang, since baka nagko-compute mentally ang ating viewers, 42% taxis, 8% jeepneys, at 50%. Hindi po ibig sabihin 50% yung private. Yung 50% na remaining sa 100%, ay combination na po yun ng private cars, trucks, and motorcycles na medyo malaki-laki rin naman.
Marami din.
Meaning, the largest percentage ng nag-move na vehicles in Baguio ay taxis.
Yes.
Clarification lang po sa mga taxi drivers din and taxi owners. Hindi po namin sinasabi na there's too much, no? Ang sinasabi lang po namin is there's no balance.
Yon,
Yes.
tama. Kasi nga, ang one thing about Baguio is, fixed na yung size ng mga roads natin.
Correct.
Kahit gustuhin nating mag-widen, hindi na siya physically
Yes.
possible. So, yung mga controls na pwede natin gawin ay doon sa mga klase ng vehicles. Like,
Correct.
ang isang scheme dyan is coding. So, yun ang ginagawa muna natin ngayon. So, ano bang araw ngayon? Ay, which reminds me,
Nagbabalik ang coding.
bumalik na po ang coding.
Yeah, so sa lahat po ng Baguio residents there, coding is back. So make sure po natin na sumusunod tayo. But that's for private vehicles.
Ang exempted lamang ay jeep.
Oh, jeep. Oh,
At
okay.
hindi rin forever dahil walang forever.
Okay, perfect.
Walang forever more.
Okay.
So,
Now,
ang jeep ay hanggang May 27 lamang.
okay. May
Okay.
27. Okay. Next one is, syempre dito, kailangan din nating isipin na every gabi problem po sa Baguio ang jeep.
Tama.
Ang haba ng pila ng mga pasahero because wala pong bumabiyaheng mga jeep. But of course, this is
Tama.
another big issue within the transport sector.
Yes.
Because ang sinasabi ng mga jeep natin, mahirap din sa kanila dahil wala silang backload.
Oo.
Mas marami yung pauwi kaysa yung papunta ng business
Oo.
district.
And na-emphasize yon ngayon dahil sa fuel crisis, sa energy
Correct.
crisis. So, naramdaman talaga natin yon.
Yes.
Ang
Na
ginawa...
kahit walang bumiyaheng mga tourist, sobrang hirap pa rin makauwi. Na dati...
Oo, dati tuwing December lang na problema yun.
Yes,
Yung kahit
correct.
nakaabang ka dyan alas 12 ng
Correct.
gabi, walang taxi.
So, dito natin nakikita na although that's already, again, that's another issue sa transport sector, especially sa mga jeepneys natin. But then, yung imbalance pa rin is there.
Yes, and I think si LTFRB chair, his name is Vigor Mendoza, he actually naman said, okay, we will study it first before, which is nice because now the LTFRB and the LGU are talking.
Correct.
Kasi dapat lang,
Yes,
interagency.
which is very, very important. Kasi dyan nagkaka-problem ang mga LGUs. Not even LGUs, even sa national offices, kapag walang alignment ang mga offices ng government, there's
Tama.
really a problem there. Ang daming loophole. So, this time, we're happy na they're talking.
That they're talking.
Yeah.
That's important.
And we don't know the resolution here, but what we hope here is to see the balance sa mga PUVs natin, the public utility vehicles, and to make sure na not only do we serve the public ng mas maayos, mas efficient, but of course, pro-environment. Because the more taxis, the more private vehicles, the less yung mga vehicles na mas maraming nakikerry, mas nagkakaroon ng problem sa environment. But may question sila. Paano e-taxi naman yan?
Yun na nga. Iniisip ko rin yun eh. Parang maganda. Actually, maganda ang e-taxis kasi kuryente. Yun yung E. Electric vehicle. So, e-taxis sila. Maganda dapat yan eh. Para sa atin. Para sa environment.
Correct.
And pinupush natin yan sa city. Kaso nga lang, kahit man idagdag natin at hindi naman tayo magbawas doon sa original, edi puro na lang traffic na naman ang inaano natin.
We're just adding more vehicles on the road. So I think, again, the logic is also there. Kailangan isolve muna natin itong imbalance sa percentage ng mga sasakyan sa kalsada before we actually go there.
Right.
Nakikita natin yung benefit ng e-taxis. And we hope we get there soon.
Yes, there should be scientific and mathematical ways for the LTFRB to base the release of franchises or approvals of such vehicles, di ba? Para naman magtulungan sila ng LGU.
Correct.
So, kasi sila rin lang naman yung maa-atake dyan. Kung biglang boom, magkaroon na naman ng problema, nadagdagan na naman ng problema. So, meron yan, I'm sure meron. Hanapan lang nila ng paraan. Kung ano nga ba ang ano ba ang basehan natin sa pag-release ng mga prangkisa?
Correct. So, hopefully, yun yung request lang naman natin dyan. We get there soon. We go to we invest to more environmental friendly vehicles. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we're solving existing problems para hindi magkapatong-patong yung
Right.
We're with the mayor there.
We're with the mayor there. So,
Okay.
But still, it's a nice move if we do get those e-taxis into the loop. But at the same time, solve the other problems before doing that.
All right. So that's the issue about, yung imbalance ng mga vehicles that we have on the road here in Baguio. So we now move on to one national issue na medyo nakakagulat dahil magkakasunod ang issue ngayon ng Philippine National Police. So, Timia, baka pwede ka magkwento dyan.
Saan mo gustong simula? Well,
Yung pinakamalapit.
Ang pinakamalapit nito ay teacher's camp.
Okay.
So, ang nangyari sa teacher's camp is, there was an allegation of rape by a 23-year-old female trainee.
Okay.
Who is,
female trainee ang gumawa.
nag-complain.
Okay.
Ang nag-complain.
Okay.
So, female trainee ang nag-complain. She alleged that there were 2 instances of rape daw in January and February. And these were done by an instructor. A police instructor.
Okay.
So, dun yung mabigat. Kasi someone in authority.
Yeah.
41 years old. And he's married. She is 23.
Okay.
Yes. And now, the instances happened in January and February, but the complaint happened in April. And then, immediately, he was put on restrictive detention. Meaning, naka-restrict lang ang movement niya, inalis ang firearms niya, pero hindi siya pwedeng i-aresto kasi wala pang kaso. Now, ang update na nangyari dyan is, na-downgrade yung rape case to sexual coercion.
Okay.
There's no exact sexual coercion naman dun sa batas. Pero it falls under sexual violence. At hindi na siya rape. VAUSI na siya. Violence against women and children. Yung rape, hindi siya available.
Yeah, this one is...
Ito, available.
Yeah.
So, although wala pang na-release na formal statement from the police kung bakit na-downgrade yung rape to sexual coercion, yung isang tanong ko doon na naisip ko, kasi VAUSI siya.
Yes.
Hindi ka magva-VAUSI kung wala kayong relasyon.
Yeah, it's speculation.
So, speculation lang to.
Speculation
Speculation lang to. Logical speculation.
Yeah.
Now, it's with the prosecutor.
Okay.
So, meaning na-accept na siya. I don't know kung may docket number na siya. Meaning, aakyat na ba siya sa korte. Pero as of the last statement from the Philippine National Police, it's with the prosecutor already. So we will wait for updates and we will give you that.
Okay. Yes. And of course, ano lang naman dito, if it happens, we need to make sure that there's justice there. But of course, we have due process.
Yes.
So, hintayin natin yung update. It's so hard to actually say something about it because the case has been filed already and we don't have yet much information about the case. But since sa mga ganitong kaso, we need to make sure, lalo na yung alleged perpetrator ay person in power, in authority.
Yes.
So, yun yung kailangan lang nating bantayan. But hindi lang yan yung issue ng PNP.
Hindi. So, sumunod dyan, meron kasi naging viral na social media post that was alleging that there was corruption happening in our regional training center of the police in La Trinidad. So, ang sinasabi naman dito is, sa mga field training programs daw nila, yung mga trainees pumupunta doon. Siyempre, kailangan nila ng accommodation. Now, meron silang allotted na accommodation at limit na 3,000 pesos. Ngayon, ang nasabi doon sa naging social media post na viral is, on top of yung 3,000 daw, hinihingian pa sila ng 600 pesos.
Ano to? Coming from the,
From the trainees.
Okay.
Para daw sa renta ng accommodation. Ang tanong, saan pumupunta yung 600? Para saan? Legal ba to? Based doon sa investigation ng PNP, sa initial investigation nila is, yung 600 daw ay pumupunta sa mga field training officers. Ito na naman tayo. Yung nagte-train.
Okay. Trainers na naman.
Trainers daw na naman. At ang sabi sa report ay, yung 600 ay pumupunta sa bayad ng kanilang renta.
Which is hindi disclosed.
And kung totoo man ay hindi tama.
Yeah. And how many trainers usually? I mean, how many trainees?
I'm not sure of the number of trainees, pero yung sabi doon is, meron siyang parang, it comes out to around hundreds of thousands of pesos.
Wow.
And it says in the report that this happened from 2023 to 2025.
That's a lot.
Dahil walang current programs ngayon for training. So, yun yung kwento. Ang result din nito ay, hindi lang Cordillera ang sinisilip ngayon.
Okay. Because that happened in...
Because this happened here. Oh my gosh. Tayo na naman ang mitsa.
Yeah, okay.
So, this happened here. And, well, it's a good thing din naman.
Yes,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing because it opened to,
It's opening now to a national audit of such trainings. So, wherever there are training centers now, rini-review na nila yung sistema nila.
Correct. That's the reason why sa mga government agencies natin, it's really important for you to disclose everything, lalo kapag naniningil tayo. Because, transparency. Kung para naman pala sa mga trainers yan, kung isipan naman natin, okay, sige, if it's for the trainers, kung yan yung magpapagaan ng trabaho rin nila, for them also to serve, we just need to report and tell the truth. Huwag nating basta sinisingil na hindi naman alam ng mga nagbabayad at hindi rin naman, at hindi disclosed.
Tama.
Because kapag hindi natin yan dinidisclose, suspicious yan, maaari talagang call for audit yan.
Yeah. So, yung question mo kanina, magkano yung total ng 600 na patong?
Yeah.
Lumalabas siya na 300,000 per batch. So, i-divide mo na lang yan ng 600.
300,000.
Per batch. And then, ang isa pa dyan,
God.
malaki yun. One more thing. As a result of this, 6 na personnel doon sa training center, sa regional training center natin sa Cordillera na sila. So, na-relieve sila sa pwesto. Pending the investigation.
Okay, pending investigation. So,
So, hindi pa, no one's still guilty kasi ongoing.
But then again, importante talaga mag-disclose to properly liquidate kung ano man po yung nare-receive na funds. In and out na funds.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
And, again, that's just one sa issue ngayon na kinakaharap ng PNP. Sumasabay talaga sila sa national issues. So to the Philippine National Police, I hope we get some actions here and we'll keep you updated naman po sa lahat.
There are good people there.
Of course!
Let's just hope that they are enough to affect change.
Madami. Pero kung gaano kadami rin naman, Sana wag naman ganun din kadami yung problems that we have in the Philippine National Police.
That's true.
And speaking of these kinds of irregularities,
Sana nung next.
ang next naman natin ngayon, medyo sensitive, no? Especially here in the North.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte.
Just this April, the last impeachment hearing. Yun,
Yeah.
pasabog
Pasabog talaga.
si Senator Trillanes.
Yeah.
Well,
At
first,
some point,
yeah.
pasabog talaga.
Oo,
Vindicated, sabihin na
Oo.
natin. Because he released these allegations way back 2016, 2018. Sinasabi niya may irregularities na sa...
Kino-call out na niya.
Kino-call out niya ng bank records.
Pero walang naniniwala.
Yes, ng mga Duterte. But this time,
Sabi
AMLC, they have already confirmed that there are some irregularities nga po sa bank activities ng Vice President and her husband.
Oo.
The Justice Committee ng House of Representatives are currently deliberating to see kung magpo-proceed. Tama?
Yes, and hopefully matapos ito by April 29. So that kung matapos man yun ng April 29, sana.
So, actually, dito sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte, kasi mixed pa rin yung reactions na despite the numbers going out, despite the data coming out na saying na talagang there's really a problem, nagkakaroon ngayon ng mga, lumalabas ang ating mga legal jargons from our netizens saying na suspicious doesn't mean illegal.
Tama, nakita ko yun.
Tama naman.
Oo.
Again, sa ating mga nanonood, let's be very, very objective.
Yun.
When we see suspicions, we investigate. Tayo mismo magbabasa at aalamin. Okay? Ang susunod pa na problem kasi dyan is that we're talking about public funds here.
Totoo, pera natin.
Pera natin kasi. So kung kami magagalit kami because pera yun ng taong bayan. Hindi kami nagagalit just because it's a Duterte.
Hindi. Kada lahat ng binabayaran natin, sinasahod natin.
Yeah.
May kaltas yan. Pumupunta sa
Correct.
gobyerno. Di ba, kung tayo nga, kinupitan lang tayo ng 20, galit na tayo.
Lalo sa mga taxi. Pag hindi binalit yung barya,
piso mo,
nagagalit tayo. So,
nadrama ka na.
let's just
Ganun
make
din
sure.
galit.
Yes. And this is a vice president. Yes, and ang problem kasi ngayon is that, okay, nandyan yung impeachment, may taga-defend na part ni VP and may mga taga-scrutinize. Ang ayaw ko lang dito is the one defending is that naglalabas pa sila lang isang issue.
Which is?
Flood control daw, wala namang napakulong. Kesyo ganito, ganyan.
Ay, ano na yan
Bakit?
May logical fallacy yung ganyan.
Pero wait, galit din naman tayo doon.
Yun
Galit
na
din
nga.
tayo dito.
Hindi naman mutually exclusive. Meaning, kung galit ka sa impeachment, hindi naman meaning nun hindi ka pwede magalit sa flood control. Or, that doesn't mean na hindi natin pwedeng imbestigahan yan. Pwedeng sabay.
Correct. And it's ongoing. Ngayon, kung hindi pa rin ginagawa ng paraan din yan ng administration, of course, we also have the duty to call out. So, in this impeachment, let's take this seriously. Ang problem kasi hindi umaattend si VP.
Oo,
I think-
since yung start,
Wala talaga.
tsaka yung sa SALN kasi niya. Kasi
Dami rin
ang
yung
laki-laki ng,
pinag-match.
parang ang laki ng value niya, ni,
Yes.
ni Vice President, parang 600,
Yeah.
6 billion something, or around, basta it's huge. Pero bakit
6
wala siyang
billion.
cash on
6
hand?
billion. Yeah.
Meaning, wala ba siyang cash
Hindi
man lang sa
nag-match.
bangko? Hindi nagmamatch.
Hindi
Ngayon,
nagmamatch.
yun yung sa SALN niya. Eh, ang sabi nung attorney niya is, doon daw sa others yun. Sabi ko, ha?
And the past two presidents used SALN to remove public officials. Corona, Sereno.
So,
So kung napaka-importante ng SALN that it removed officials
nakaalis
in
siya
the
ng Chief
past,
Justice,
dalawang Chief Justice, bakit hindi rin kaya for the Vice President?
Oo.
Bakit parang
Basihan
hindi,
yan.
bakit parang ngayon hindi na basihan ng SALN? Parang ganon. SALN is important, no? Bakit pa nandiyan ang
especially at
SALN?
that high
Yeah.
position.
Kasi kung hindi pala nila kayang mag-disclose ng kanilang mga wealth, ng kanilang kayamanan, ng kanilang kaperahan, sa simpleng dokumento, paano pa natin sila pagkakatiwalaan doon sa trabaho na ibinigay natin sa kanila?
Naalala ko tuloy yung ano niya. May statement ulit siya kahapon, yata yun.
Yung nagta-travel ba siya?
Magta-travel sana kasi siya sa ilang countries sa Europe.
Diba?
Oo. Pinayagan naman siya ni Presidente.
Yes.
Pero naglabas si VP Sara ng statement na, ay, hindi na lang. Hindi na ako lalabas.
Nagtampo bigla.
Oo, kasi ngayon nyo lang linabas yung
Correct.
permission.
Oy, pero Ate Mia, it happens ha. Kahit sa mga simpleng government officials.
Na last minute.
Yes, I have a lot of friends na kasama ko magka-travel. Tapos sasabihin nila sa akin, wala pa silang travel authority.
Oo.
may flight na sila. Lumabas naman pala yung travel authority ni VP a day before.
Mm-mm.
And that's very normal within the government. So parang nangyari dito, kung ako okay, alam ko naman yung hirap na magta-travel ka na wala pang travel authority a day before.
Lalo na kilala
But
siya.
Vice President, isipin mo, ganyan ang nangyayari po sa mga simpleng manggagawa rin po ng gobyerno. So kung sila po ay walang magawa at tahimik lang, ngayon naramdaman nyo na po. So,
Maybe to fix the system?
Yes. Kung tingin nyo this is a problem, then probably call all government institutions to make a way
A better
to
way?
solve. Yes. Na di pang all travel authorities should be approved at least 1 week before the travel period.
Tama. Pero walang tampuhan.
Yes. Naintindihan ka namin, but then, nandyan na yan, matagal na. Even when you're mayor, I'm sure.
Yes. What
So,
travel
but
authority.
about the travel authority, sa lahat ng viewers natin, isipin nyo rin, ongoing ang impeachment proceedings. I think kahit sabihin natin na, ako kasi insulto yun insulto yan sa taong bayan. Kahit sabihin na natin na gastos mo, kahit gastos mo yan,
Yeah.
kahit walang
Na
gagas, yes.
Na-claim naman
Pero
yun.
the fact that there's an ongoing impeachment proceedings, tapos ikaw hindi mo sineseryoso, you're traveling, wala ka ng respeto dun sa
proseso.
yes, sa proseso and
Taong bayan.
sa legislative branch na co-equal branch mo.
Tama. Tama. You owe us,
Yeah.
everyone.
You took an oath.
You took an oath as the Vice President of the Philippines. You're mandated to serve everyone
Yeah.
and not just those who support.
Yeah. Kaya disclaimer lang ulit, the impeachment proceedings discussions right now are more on digesting what happened and the general opinion of the public and us.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about legalities here as we leave that to the lawyers. But of course, the understanding that we have based on the facts that we are also reading. Ngayon, kung may mga mali po doon, again, feel free to engage sa comment section and we can also engage with you.
Let us know and we can
Yeah.
talk about it next time.
So those are the issues that we have this week. At syempre, again, sabi nga namin, weekly, we will be discussing different issues in the Philippines and in Baguio. So, muli magsama-sama po ulit tayo at manatili pong nakatutok sa Mountain Beacon at sa The Lost Stories para po sa mga updates at sa mga kaganapan po ng mga nangyayari sa ating bansa at sa ating komunidad. Ako po si Raymond.
At ako si Mia.
At maraming salamat po again. This is Spill the Tea.
Take care.